Have you ever caught yourself talking out loud when no one else was there? Maybe while driving, maybe while working late at night, maybe while standing in front of the mirror rehearsing a conversation that hasn't happened yet. And then you stopped, looked around, and thought, is something wrong with me? There was once a man named Daniel. From the outside, Daniel seemed normal. He worked, he smiled when needed, he showed up. But when he was alone, he talked to himself. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. Focus. You can do this. Don't mess it up again. Sometimes he argued with himself. Sometimes he comforted himself. Sometimes he replayed old conversations, changing the ending. Daniel never told anyone this, because somewhere along the way, he learned that talking to yourself meant you were strange, unstable, broken. So he kept it hidden. One evening, after a long day filled with mistakes and self-doubt, Daniel sat alone in his room and whispered, "Why am I like this?" That question lingered longer than expected. The next day, Daniel visited his grandmother. She lived simply, no rush, no noise. While they sat together, she noticed Daniel muttering under his breath while fixing something. She smiled. "You talk to yourself," she said gently. Daniel froze. "I'm sorry," he replied quickly. "I didn't realize I was doing it." She laughed softly. "Do you know why people talk to themselves?" Daniel shook his head. "Because sometimes," she said, "the world is too loud, and the only voice that can make sense of it is your own." She continued, "When you were a child, you spoke your thoughts freely. You talked while playing, you talked while learning. No one called it strange back then. But as you grew older, you were told to be quiet, to keep things inside, to appear normal." Daniel listened closely. "Talking to yourself," she said, "is the mind trying to organize chaos. When you're overwhelmed, your thoughts collide. When you're anxious, your mind races. When you're lonely, your heart looks for company. So it speaks." Daniel thought about the nights he couldn't sleep, the decisions he overthought, the emotions he didn't know how to name. Talking to himself wasn't madness, it was survival. "But there's something important you must understand," his grandmother added. "How you talk to yourself matters." She looked at him kindly. "If your inner voice is cruel, if it only criticizes, if it keeps repeating your failures, then talking to yourself becomes a wound." Daniel felt that deeply. He remembered the words he said most often. "You're not good enough. You always fail. Why can't you be better?" "But," she continued, "when you speak to yourself with patience, with guidance, with honesty, it becomes healing. It becomes the voice that keeps you standing when no one else is there." Daniel realized something that day. Everyone talks to themselves. Some do it silently, some out loud, some through thoughts, some through whispers in the dark. The difference is not whether we do it, it's how. So, from that day on, Daniel made a quiet change. He still talked to himself, but differently. When he made a mistake, he said, "It's okay, learn from this." When he felt afraid, he said, "Take a breath, one step at a time." When he felt alone, he said, "You're not weak for feeling this." Slowly, something shifted. The voice that once attacked him started guiding him. The voice that once drained him started grounding him. Now, think about your own life. How do you speak to yourself when no one is listening? Is your inner voice your enemy or your refuge? Talking to yourself is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that your mind is trying to understand the weight it carries. The real question is,
Are you using that voice to destroy yourself or to become stronger? So, the next time you catch yourself talking to yourself, don't be ashamed. Listen. You might be hearing exactly what you need.